like if I'm not playing as much as I want to, if I'm not making the plays that I want to, like just knowing that is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And like God's plan for me is bigger than how you play on a football field.
Welcome back to another episode of Buckeye Revival, presented by the Walk Foundation podcast. We'd first like to thank our sponsors who make this possible: Rock City Church, Emily Tapman with the Firm Foundation Company, and Jeremy Fraze with Union Home Mortgage. Where today we are so pleased to be joined by Ohio State defensive end Beau Atkinson. Welcome to the show, Beau.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, and so a little bit about Beau here before we get started. Not too much here, but I do want to mention where he's from. So he is from Raleigh, North Carolina, where he went to high school at Leesville Road High School.
Yeah, Leesville.
And he also spent his first 3 years of college at the University of North Carolina before transferring this spring to Ohio State, where you just spent your first year on the Ohio State football team, which is awesome. And so Beau is a Buckeye, and we're excited to talk to him today. So what that means, though, for all of you guys who have been watching Buckeye Revival, every single week we've been doing a bit of a game, a 60-second trivia game to kick off the episodes. And the winner of this at the end of the year is going to get custom backpacks and Bibles to the athletes community of their choice. And so we're excited to get that going. Steve, can you get us with the 60-second timer? Let's go. Okay. So it's going to be this or that. So it's just going to be like, I'm going to ask a question and give you two options, and you just tell me which one you want to go with.
Sweet.
Technically, there'd be no reason for you to pass if you don't know. Just take a guess. And you can look like you knew what you were talking about.
Let's do it.
But 60 seconds. So, all right, we'll get kicked off here in 3, 2, 1. What is the Ohio Stadium attendance record? 102,000 or 110,000?
110.
That's correct. Which coach has the most wins? Woody Hayes or Jim Tressel?
Woody Hayes.
Correct. How many times has Ohio State won the Big Ten championship? 29 or 39?
39.
Correct. How many times has Ohio State won the national championship? 9 or 13?
13.
Not correct. It was 9. Since 2000, how many times has Ohio State beat that team up north? 12 or 17?
17.
17 is correct. In 2002, which Ohio State coach led the Buckeyes to a national championship? Jim Tressel or John Cooper?
Jim Tressel.
That's correct. How many Ohio State running backs which Ohio State running back won the Heisman Trophy twice? Archie Griffin or Eddie George?
Archie Griffin.
Which Ohio State coach coined the phrase "you win with people"? Urban Meyer or Woody Hayes?
Woody Hayes.
Woody Hayes. Who was the interim head coach between Jim Tressel and Urban Meyer? Mike Vrabel or Luke Fickell?
Mike Vrabel.
Okay, what was Luke Fickell? So wait, so we got 7 there? I can go 7. So that either tied it or won it. Like you're either in first now or you're at least tied for the lead. I'm almost positive. That was really good.
I'll take it.
I'm impressed because
I was not confident going into that. But,
you did really good. Which one was kind of? I feel like so you missed. Which ones did you miss? You missed the team
Mike
up north,
Vrabel
or Mike Vrabel or Luke Fickell,
and then
it was
there was one about how many wins. It was because I was just going the over on everything.
Yeah. How many national championships? 9 or 13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just sending the over.
Yeah. We'll get it to 13 here soon, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's right.
Soon.
That's right. Well, good stuff.
Like
well done, Beau. We'll have to keep you posted at the end of the year how you fared.
Thanks.
How you fared. But well, good stuff. So Beau, you're here on Buckeye Revival. Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
And so I mentioned that you grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yep.
You went to Leesville.
Yep. Leesville.
What's it like growing up in North Carolina?
North Carolina is amazing. Yeah, like we were talking about before, just like the weather there is great. Like you're 2 hours from the beach, 2 hours from the mountains. You got the lakes all around. So I'm a very outdoorsy person. So lot to love there. It's a great spot.
Were you born there and like truly like grew up completely in North Carolina?
Yeah. So I was born in Raleigh. Lived in one house for like a year, and then after that, same house the rest of my life. So yeah. Yeah, born and raised.
So you mentioned like getting outside, outdoorsy guy. Obviously, you're an athlete now too. Like, what sports did you play growing up? Were you just football, or did you do more than that?
No, I played a lot of lacrosse too. So that was like my other like main. And I wasn't really sure like which one I was gonna want to pursue later. And then obviously like some other side on like basketball and all kinds of stuff like that. But like once I got into high school, it was really football and lacrosse. And
So were you one of like the like in the cross? Were you one of like the bigger guys, like the defense? Like
I was a defenseman. Yeah. So yeah, had the long pole and everything. Yeah, that was a fun time for sure. Played like travel ball my whole life, and then in high school played my freshman sophomore year with the varsity team, and then COVID hit, so our football season got moved into the spring. So my junior year, I could not play anymore there, and then I graduated early from high school. From high school to go like college football. So I left spring semester. So yeah, I kind of got early retirement there without junior senior year for lacrosse, but it was super fun sport, and yeah, I loved that too.
Do you feel like in some way, because it almost seems like you were almost just like forced to be done with
Yeah,
lacrosse, and it just kind of forced you fully into football?
yeah. It actually worked out really well though, because like with lacrosse season, like you couldn't do like the off season workouts were like strictly just like winter and summer. But then with how COVID worked, I was able to go from like I think my sophomore year I was like 200 pounds to then like after that like extra long off season because we had like the spring and then the fall too. I was like 240 coming in the next year, and like all my basically like me and my friends would just be like lifting like 3 hours a day, like going playing like spike ball or something like every single day. And yeah, that was actually a really fun time.
Yeah, it's a fun time, but also just a really unique time too, with
Yeah.
like all the COVID stuff. Like
Yeah.
that just had been interesting for
Yeah.
just ending your high school on that.
Yeah, it's very different for sure. But yeah.
And so were you like, I guess from a young age, like, did you always feel like football was going to be your thing, or did you like think that maybe it would be lacrosse, or where did you feel?
I mean, I was kind of in between. So like my dad, he played football at UConn, and my mom played volleyball there. But like I'd watched like my older brother played football and lacrosse too. So like I don't know. I always kind of like had like a special place for football, but yeah, I don't know. It was always I always liked whatever sport I was kind of like in that time, and I'm sure that's how a lot of people probably feel because like once you're like in it and you're playing, you're like having a good time. Like it's hard to like think about going back to the other one, but then yeah, I don't know. Football was always different. I don't know. I like the ability to like, especially like playing defensive end, like you're in control, like being able to make your plays like all the time. Because like if you're a receiver and you're a great receiver, you have to like rely on the O line to protect really well and the quarterbacks to make those reads and like get you the ball, and then you got to make the plays. But defensive end, like you can kind of like a lot. There's some things that you got to do, but like for the most part, like you can control a lot of what happens.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that because you're all right as a receiver. That could get frustrating because you're like,
Yeah.
all the things kind of have to line for then
Yeah.
you to get the ball, and
Exactly.
you kind of have to be patient. And
Yeah.
where you're like,
Very
every
patient.
play, like I got a
Yeah.
chance to get a sack,
Yeah.
which
exactly.
is
Yeah.
that can be nice to feel like you have some of that control.
Yeah, definitely.
And you had mentioned when you were like playing different sports in each season. I feel like I've seen a lot of people talking recently just about how like it can be really good to play different sports and kind of be multi-sport. And how
Yeah.
that can prepare you to be like a better athlete overall.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that helped you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because so playing like defense and lacrosse, like there's like so much like change of direction. And like I'm like I was like 6'6", guarding like 5'2" dudes. So like having to be able to like change direction and move with all those guys. Yeah, I feel like that like added a ton, especially to like the pass rushing side of things. And yeah, it was definitely very good accidental training there. But yeah, it was cool.
No, that's really, really cool. Okay, so we were just talking about high school growing up in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm curious, from a faith standpoint,
Yeah.
what was your faith like growing up, like while just growing up through high school?
Yeah. So I actually like grew up Catholic, technically. So like we would kind of like go to like church, but it was mostly like we'd go like every couple weeks, and it would be like mostly to like learn like some like motivational speech of like how to like live your life. And so like I didn't really have like any true relationship with Jesus and like understand like what the real purpose behind all of it was. And so like this kind of like went that way from throughout like my whole like childhood, and then like in high school I kind of like just separated from a faith standpoint for a little while. And then I got to UNC my freshman year, and I met some like really really good friends. And one of them like he'd start like begging me to go to, we called it like AIA, but it'd be like the same thing as like a FCA, or we do cross sports here at Ohio State. And so like he would beg me to go, and so after like couple months, I was like, okay, yeah, like I'll go and I'll do it. And so for the first little while, I would really just go just because he really wanted me to go and like to have the community. But then like over time, that's where like I started to like really build my faith and like understand like what it means to like actually like have a relationship with Jesus instead of doing it just for like some motivational talk of how to live your life. And so yeah, I feel like having those guys like in my life helped me grow so much, and yeah, I'm very very grateful for that.
What do you feel like was holding you back for a little while when he's asking you to come and you're just like, I don't know, like,
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not really sure. I feel like at that time I was very focused on myself and like trying to that was a year like I was like redshirting my first year. So like I was kind of in this mindset of like, okay, I gotta go like earn all this and like do it all myself. And so I feel like I was definitely lacking a lot of humility in that time. And so I think I might have been too focused on my own situation to understand like that there's like a lot bigger things going on in this life. And so yeah, I feel like he helped me grow in that. Both of my friends helped me grow in that phase of life a lot. Yeah.
And just in general, like your first year of college is just a very unique time
Yeah.
where it's a lot of new
Yeah.
experience, and I
Yeah.
don't know, it can be hard. And I don't know, do you feel like your first year was just hard and difficult in any ways?
Yeah, I mean, it was very different. Definitely, like academically wise, like UNC was a very tough spot, and so you got a lot on your plate. And then, yeah, to go on like redshirting, and then like I don't know, just being away from home for the first time, it's definitely a lot. Yeah, I definitely say so.
So you're going to these AI, is it Athletes in Action? Or
Yeah,
is it,
athletes in action.
okay, so
Yeah.
you're going to Athletes in Action, and you've got this buddy, you get kind of plugged in with the community.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there was like a certain moment for you where you were like, wait, like this is it? Like were you really truly felt like you surrendered to the Lord, or do you feel like he was just kind of like working your heart like really slowly over time?
Yeah, I would say for me it was probably like a slower build over time. Like I really after like a little while, like I really enjoyed like being around like a community because like I always like I would never like go out and party or do any of that. So like even before like my faith, like that was not like something that I like enjoyed doing. And so like being around people who had that same like similar like minded mindset of like just wanting to like be around real people and like have real fun, like doing like game nights or like going doing like random things outside. So I think like having that like community that really started to draw me in at first, and then the creating that more relationship and trust in Jesus was what like really brought me to where I am now. Mm.
Not to backtrack it too much, but I know we said you grew up in North Carolina.
Yeah.
That is like in the Bible Belt. Do you feel like people are a little bit like when being down there? Do you feel like Christianity is a bit like more like accepting, or people are more comfortable around it, or or maybe you don't notice a difference, even maybe even here in Ohio versus there? I'm
Yeah.
just kind of curious. Like, do you feel like
Yeah.
it was people around you? You had a lot of believers just went to high school with that you grew up around, or were at college, or do you still feel like it felt few and far between?
It was I don't know. I feel like there's definitely a big variety. I feel like there was a lot of people that would say that they were Catholics or Christians or whatever, and like be in a similar boat that I was in probably. I wouldn't say it was like ever like looked down upon by
Yeah.
people or yeah. So I wouldn't. I'd say like coming here, I haven't really experienced like the like general Ohio, but like from like the football team standpoint, it seems like there's like a lot of people who are like really like strong in their faith and like spreading that. And like even like teachers like here I feel like are very open about their faith. And I think at UNC sometimes that would be kind of restricted or just different philosophies there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because one thing that like when we come to Christ and we build that relationship with Him, and then we start to follow Him, is you really got to like take up your cross and
Yeah.
follow Him, and that looks like something. That means being obedient, right? Especially
Yeah.
the convictions He puts on our heart, and as we read His Word, He start to show us how He wants us to live.
Yeah.
And as you said, some people like that can be hard. Like it can be
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm a Christian, but actually following Him, it doesn't really look
Yeah.
like that.
Two different things. Yeah.
Do you feel like it, like when you first when Lord started kind of putting conviction on your heart about how to live, or like, what was kind of that process for you of just starting to like follow Christ?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge that I always faced was like kind of like what I was talking about before was like that pride. Like I truly believe that like I got to where I was like because of me, because like I would go and do all this hard work. And in reality, like that was couldn't have been further from true. Like I was born to be 6'6" tall. Like I had two D1 parents. Like I had two brothers and a sister where like we were competing all the time. So like there was so many. I'm super healthy body. Like my heart, everything's great. So like when you take a standpoint of like gratitude, like you can see how many like things are like going in your favor in that. And so for me, like it took me a little while to change that mindset. And like another big thing that I would talk to like a lot of my friends about there was the idea of like playing and like performing to like glorify God versus like playing to I don't know, like I have goals of going to the NFL or I have goals of like making money or whatever that. And so like at that time, my mind was all about like doing and performing for myself. And so it kind of took a while. And I actually, we went to Passion. Have you heard of Passion? It's in Atlanta. And so I went to Passion last January. And this was really where I like had this like big switch change in my mind. The lead pastor there, I don't remember what his name is, but it was like this big Passion event. And he was talking about like living through like what God like has planned for you. And so he was like, and like how to like glorify God through your life. And so he was talking at this time, and he was saying how like, is there anything that you really love doing, and are you able to do that in a way to like spread God's message? And so for me, that answer was obviously like very easy. Like yes, like I love playing football, and through doing that, I'm able to gain a bigger platform and come do things like this, and use my social media in order to like spread like uh, different verses or whatever in order to help grow the faith and like grow the community to those people around me. So I feel like that was like we were talking about like switch before. I feel like that was a huge switch for me where I was like, okay, like because like that was a huge thing that I was battling because I always thought it was like easy to say like yeah like I'm playing for God or whatever, but like to actually mean that is a whole different thing that I feel like I mean it's probably troubling for a lot of people, but for me that was definitely something that I had to grow in, and yeah, I was very very glad for that time.
As you've seen that growth, how do you feel like that's impacted like just the way you feel like
Yeah,
as you're playing?
yeah. Oh, it's huge. Like from a standpoint of like your identity shifting from a place of like okay like I'm a football player to like no I'm a follower of Jesus and like in Christ. And so like I don't know like you come here and you're playing with the best of the best, so like if you could go out there at practice and you could not have a very good day. So like if your mind is in having your identity be like how you perform on a football field, then like you could be miserable like doing like if you have a great day you're going to be living at the highest of high, but if you have a bad day you're going to be living at the lowest of lows. So and that's not really how you want to live your life. You want to have that firm foundation where your identity is in you're a child of God, and that there's nothing that you could do in this life to earn any more love or lose any love from Him, because that's how much He loves us. So I think that was a very important shift for me too.
How do you feel like that's affected even just with the Ohio State team? A lot of you guys are like walking with Lord, and faith is a big component of the team.
Yeah,
How do you feel like that, you know, I guess as a group as a whole, if you guys are all
yeah,
playing that way or feeling that way as if, is playing for the Lord, how do you feel like that's
yeah,
helped you guys as a team in your culture?
yeah. I mean, yeah, I would say that it has to have, like I don't want to speak for the other people, but I feel like it definitely gives you that sense of like peace and confidence that knowing like God has this plan for you. And so no matter what happens, like you go ups and downs. Like I'm sure last year they were probably not feeling great after a couple of those
Mhm.
losses. And so just being able to understand like that God's plan is good, and that what you see fit, like they probably wanted to go undefeated that whole year, but if that had happened, who knows how the season would have finished? It could have been different. And so for us this year, just like preparing for whatever storms may come in the future, like we had like we call it like reflection. And so every Sunday they give a talk, and so the person was given a message about like Noah's Ark and how he was preparing for the storm like before it actually came. And so like that's a big thing that we've been preaching a lot on our team, is like preparing for the storm before it even comes. That way, like whenever it comes, like there's gonna be a time in this season where we're gonna face some adversity. Like somebody's gonna come out and throw a punch early, and just building that foundation now to where we'll be ready for that, I think is huge. Yeah.
Yeah. And so personally, you mentioned that a lot of times, at least I've seen it, you share like a Bible verse on
Yeah.
every single time that you post on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Why do you do that?
So I've actually been that's where like things have shifted a little bit, because last year I would post like a different Bible verse every single game. And so this year I kind of like I was talking to my girlfriend, and she's a very, very great Christian too. She's a high jumper at UNC. And I was talking to her and I was like, this year I think I kind of want to like have put the same verse out there every single week to try to like before every single game, because I felt like that might like stick in people's minds a little bit more. So I put Psalm 27:3, though a mighty army surrounds me, my heart will not be afraid. even if I'm attacked, I'll remain confident. So to me, like putting out that same one every single time, like I was trying to hopefully like help those people around that might be going through like those tough times and like struggling with battling for playing time or battling through injury or just anything that could be in regular life. Just to trust that every season in our life is put there for a reason, and so we can still remain confident in no matter what battles we have to face. Yeah.
There's so much power in the Word of God,
Hmm.
and that's so cool. I guess my question for you there would just be like, what's your relationship like with the Word, and like how do you see the Word, and like why do you think it's important?
Yeah, I mean it's so important, and I think one thing that I try to do to be able to like stay in the word even more is like I try to fill myself with like every single day, like one just reading, but also like trying to have like a community of other people, like I was talking about with the AA. Like here, I go to the cross sports on Wednesdays, and I have like a weekly Bible study with my friends that are still back in North Carolina, and just trying to like be around like-minded people where you can read and like because I don't know the answers to everything, and just being around other people who might know more than you and have that fellowship and have them be able to like answer questions that you may have, and so just being able to be around those people and dive into the Word, it definitely can change your life and your mindset a lot of things. So
I think it's really good too, because I think a lot of times we have listeners who are like, what can I be doing to
yeah,
set myself up for success, like
yeah,
in this walk? And it's you're running the race, persevere until the end. And
yeah,
so, you just spoke about community and just surrounding yourself with other believers who,
yeah,
bouncing ideas off each other, Bible studies, building each other
yeah,
up, holding each other
yeah,
accountable, all those things. What are maybe some other things, maybe like daily practices or things that you do in your walk with Christ that you found to be
yeah.
beneficial for you?
Yeah. So I was talking to one of our team pastors, and one thing that he was talking about was praying constantly. So like for me, like this morning, I was had to do some recovery stuff, and so like I one thing that I like to do is cryo. And so
Mhm.
if you don't know what that is, it's like negative 124 degrees. You're in there for 3 minutes, and it doesn't feel very good in the moment. So like one thing that I like to do every single time I get in there is like just start to pray for like to try to take my mind off of that. And that's just like one example, but like throughout the entire day trying to like uh speak to God and like have a constant communication about like what you're going through and like just understanding that God is there listening to every single one of us and like he wants an intimate relationship with each one of us. And yeah, very cool.
And you saying praying throughout the day, like so like in a lot of moments you just feel like you're just inviting God into everything,
Yeah.
sharing where your heart's at, what you're
Yeah.
thinking about.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't necessarily have to always be like good intentional time in prayer. It can be great, but
Yeah.
also just bringing him along in everything
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And so you mentioned that that Bible verse from Psalm that you've been
Yeah.
posting
Yeah.
every week. Are there any other like maybe Bible verses that have stuck out to you, like or even books in the Bible that have really like
Yeah.
maybe gotten you through a season or that you really cling
Yeah.
to?
Yeah. I mean, I love for anybody who's just starting, like obviously like Romans is a huge one. It's a very good one to get started in. I've always really liked James a lot. There was I think it was in James or there's a Bible verse that says like resist the devil and he will flee from you. I don't remember, maybe James 4:7 or something like I don't know. I could be making that up though. So don't hold me to that. But I like that one a lot too because it's like it's so true. Like the more that you try to flee from sin and all that, the less that you kind of desire that. And so, uh, for for me, that's been huge. Is like trying to like hold myself accountable and like the less that you pursue the things of this world, then the less that you'll feel that want to like go out every Saturday or whatever, and instead like focus your time on like not only like building your own relationship, but trying to influence others to know the kind of peace that we get to feel.
Yeah, and so you
Yeah.
talk about that like change that you find in your heart.
Yeah.
And I think it's Psalm 37:4, like that when you seek after the Lord, like he will give you the desires of your heart.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what that means is like, he's gonna take his desires and he's gonna actually put that in our heart, and then we're gonna actually want what God wants for our
Yeah.
life. And so
Yeah.
when you talk about maybe not going out or like you're gonna actually kind of find that you don't even want to maybe
Yeah.
do things that might not be good for you in your walk,
Yeah.
that can, become a wedge between you and him.
Yeah.
When you think about like, I guess like the changes maybe that you've seen in your life, like, and you say like, oh, it feels good, to walk with the Lord, and
Yeah.
like maybe the things you're interested in now and care about now, versus maybe what you used to care about. Like,
Yeah.
can you talk about that change a little bit and like who you are now versus who you were?
Yeah. So before it's kind of interesting because before that I really had like faith in Jesus. Like I was kind of living very similarly, which is kind of interesting because like I've never I've never really gone out. I've never like enjoyed doing a lot of those things. But just I'd say like the biggest difference is like that peace that you feel like when you like you don't have to. There's like a really. Do you know who Travis Green is? I don't know. He's like a really good worship singer, and one of his songs is called like "Perform," and basically the whole message is like you no longer like God loves you for like who you are and the person that you are, and so like you don't have to always feel this like pressure to like go out and perform all the time, and I'd say that's like one really big change. I feel like is the feel like obviously I want to be great and I'm going to pursue everything that I can to be successful because God's plan for you isn't like oh, okay, like this is gonna happen no matter what. Like you still have to go and like plant that seed for that plant to grow. But just knowing that no matter what happens, like as long as you just give your best effort, like that is where you're meant to be and what is meant to happen for you.
I think it's really good because I think something we can struggle with sometimes as even like as Christians is like, well, am I living on God's plan for my life? Like, am I
Yeah.
like, is this what He wants for me? And
Yeah.
and in some ways, it's like God doesn't want us to sit here and be like frozen
Yeah.
and scared of taking a step. It's like
Yeah.
let's let's walk, like just walk in the direction, and He's gonna
Yeah.
kind of make way.
Yeah.
So like, because you said like you're like, oh, I want to play in the NFL. I want to
Yeah.
continue to become better. Like, I guess when you just think about God's plan, like for your life and like your
Yeah.
future, like, do you trust His plan for you?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely 100% do. Like, and I believe I was talking to there was somebody that was giving a message at one of our cross sports things the other day, and it was talking about like when things are not necessarily going in your mind like how you think they should, or like going in your mind like where you feel like you should be at that time, and how just like taking that and like just having gratitude for the fact that like God like put that situation in our life because it forces us to rely on him even more. And like it gives us like it shows us how much we need him in our lives because we can't do it on our own. And so yeah, like through every phase like of that, like whenever I have some like if I'm not playing as much as I want to, if I'm not making the plays that I want to, like just knowing that that is exactly where I'm supposed to be, and like God's plan for me is bigger than how you play on a football field, and knowing that no matter like if something's not going right, it just gives me that much more reason to just fully rely and surrender all the results to God. And yeah,
Well, so I was even just thinking, like, less than a year ago, you had to make a really big decision on transferring,
yeah,
and you ended up here at Ohio State.
yeah,
Can you talk us through the process of like making a big life decision like that,
yeah.
and like bring it? Like, did you kind of bring that
Yeah.
before the Lord?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I love UNC, and I like that was like some of the best time of my life. And like I talked about like making like some of my lifelong friends, met my girlfriend there, and I really enjoyed it. And then yeah, we had like the coaching change, and so things were going in a different direction than what I was intending. And so like God actually kind of made it really easy for me to like when if you would have asked me in December, like there's no chance I would have left. But then God kind of like brought everything to me in a way where like he made it really easy decision for me to leave. And then in that like just seeing all the things that had happened before, like with Trey and G obviously, and like it like made it a lot easier of a decision for me to decide to come to Ohio State because I wanted to be at the obviously like the best football team in the country, but also I wanted to be in a place where I could continue to grow in faith and like be around people who are like good people and are also like God fearing men. And yeah, so that he actually made that decision a lot easier than how it could have been for me.
So you were kind of like taking notice a little bit to like what had been going on in Ohio State with the
Yeah.
football guys and their
Yeah,
faith.
yeah. Yeah. So like the that whole past year, like I actually saw like what Trey was doing with like the Jesus One shirts, and so I was in the business school at UNC, and so I reached out to the guy that ran the Jesus One um company, and I reached out, and he was like all for us. Like we had like a project where we had to like sell like a certain product in our class, and so he sent us a bunch of those shirts, and we were able to sell like few hundred of them, I think, and all those proceeds that we made all went straight to like a Make a Wish Foundation. So it was really cool to see like his influence all the way in Ohio when I'd never thought about Ohio in my entire life until like that time, and like how it's crazy to think of how God was like working that, like planting those seeds in my head like way before I'd ever considered like being able to play here or any of those things. And so yeah, I think it is pretty amazing to see like looking back on that time, like how God like worked that like throughout all of it. Yeah.
What's it like jumping onto a new team when you're, in your fourth year of college football,
Yeah.
and all these guys are really good, and you
Yeah.
hop in, and you're like, and you're trying to like day one,
Yeah.
like you're gonna, I want to start, I want to play, like,
Yeah.
what's that
Yeah.
process like?
It's definitely very different experience than like when you go in your freshman year, but it was really cool because like coming here, like I was talking about before, like everybody here is so talented and gifted, and it just gives you like even that much more like fire under you, like where you're like, I need to go and like compete with these guys every single day, and like the day in day out, like just grinding with each other. And but everybody here has been like so welcoming, and like I was saying, like all the guys on the team are like it's the culture that you have here is like different than like anything I've ever experienced. And so being able to see like how hard everybody's working and like how like kind everybody's like hearts are here, it's been incredible.
Who on the team this season do you feel like you've clung to, or you felt like has in some ways been like a great like spiritual leader,
Yeah.
for you or for the guys?
Yeah, I think like Sonny Styles, Caleb, Caden Curry, like those are all some like great guys and great. They like do some great things in our Bible study, and just having like that other like that sense of community and fellowship, like to where like trying to grow closer with God while also balancing this football thing where you're like trying to be as great as you can at that. And so it's been really cool to like have different conversations and like bounce ideas off of each other through that. Yeah.
How cool is it to like have that Bible study, and then it's like then you get to play on Saturdays next to these guys, and you
Yeah.
guys are going out there.
Yeah.
And a question that I ask sometimes because I'm curious. So as a football player, like it's a very aggressive sport, and you
Yeah.
kind of have to like get in some ways like
Yeah.
be aggressive, angry, like
Yeah.
in some way where you're going
Yeah.
out there and you're putting full effort in. How do you walk that out like as a Christian?
Yeah.
But also like trying to kind of get in that mode too.
Yeah, there's so we call like at the practice field we have like a thing called like the red line. I think this has been going on for a long time. And so like basically like the idea is like once you cross the red line, which is like right outside like the football field, like kind of like flip a switch in your mind. So like you gotta kind of get into a different mode, because like it is definitely tough, like trying to like I'd like to think that I was like a nice guy, but then like once you get on the field, like you kind of got to be different, or else like you'll kind of get ran over through that. So yeah, that's definitely a difficult thing to balance, but trying to like have that mode where like that's not really like who you are, and like once you like come back off the field, like you still like love everybody on the team and like want everybody to grow as much as they can. So yeah, it's definitely a difficult thing, but yeah.
Yeah, I do want to ask a couple more, just like in general, just kind of like some faith questions, just because you said, so like Jesus is your Lord and Savior, and you have a relationship with him.
Yeah.
I guess like when you think about Jesus and you think about like who he is, and the friend that he is to you, your Lord, the King of your life.
Yeah.
But like, how would you describe like your relationship with Jesus personally?
I feel like I would describe that relationship as just like that feeling of like peace inside of you, where like you know that like God, like even when you fall short and like you fall into sin, because every single one of us does that, like just knowing that he has that forgiveness inside of you, and just trusting that like everything will work out the way it's supposed to. So I feel like that relationship is just that like feeling of peace, and like that's kind of where I would
That's good. And you talk about that forgiveness, because like
Yeah.
we are forgiven, right? When we put our faith in
Yeah.
Christ, and because he's paid the price,
Yeah.
right? He's paid the price, and we put our faith in him, like, because he died on the cross, and he rose 3 days later, conquering sin and death.
Yeah.
And I think the gospel is so just profound, and it's
Yeah.
changing hearts every single day. And obviously, with that, I think it's a free gift. It's a free gift that we can all accept, and we don't have to do anything to earn it. We don't have to do anything to earn it. And that forgiveness is, like you said, it does give us peace, and it's so freeing. And that's just a little bit there for anyone who maybe doesn't know the gospel or doesn't know, because it's pretty profound. I do want to get into a few like just kind of fun questions that. So I guess I'll do an Ohio State one real quick, or not even necessarily Ohio State, but football based. Do you who are some of like the defensive ends that you maybe look up to in the NFL that you think are like really good, that you try to, I don't know if it's model your game after, or you just think are like, man, they're top notch?
I mean, obviously, like both the Bosa brothers, like they played here, and like they're obviously freaks of nature. Like, and then you look at like Max Crosby and like how like he's just like flying all over the field, like doing some crazy things that like I don't even know how like somebody's body can like physically do that. But yeah, like I like those guys a lot, like Myles Garrett. Micah Parsons I like a lot. He's very different style player than what I would be able to do, but just watching him is definitely like he does some freak show things too. So yeah, I like all those
I could
guys.
see you getting some comparisons to Max Crosby in some ways, just with your length and your size.
Yeah, I
like,
definitely have gotten that a lot. And like the biggest thing that people compare there is usually like the motor of just like keep running. So yeah, that's definitely a big one.
I'm personally a Raider fan too, so when you bring up Max Crosby, that gets me going a little bit.
Yeah,
he was I think he was a third or fourth rounder too.
Really?
So he wasn't, but he kind of grew into his body a little more.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I think that's good for people to hear though, kind of who you look up to. And so I guess just outside of football, like when you're not practicing and having these long practice days, and you're like, just who is Beau Atkinson and some of the hobbies that you like to do, and how do you like to spend your time?
Yeah. I mean, I like doing basically like I really like being like active. So like me and my friends went on like a RV trip like over spring break. I guess it was 2 years ago now, and we went through like Utah, and like we went to the Grand Canyon and saw all kinds of cool stuff there. We did like, I guess it's like the most dangerous hike in America, which is called like Angel's Landing or something. And yeah, so that was really fun. So basically like stuff like that. I like going like fishing a lot. I love going to the lake. So like wakeboarding. We used to like make like all kinds of like trick shot videos at the lake with my guys back in North Carolina, and yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. Like just basically anything where like I'm outdoors being active. I like playing golf. I'm not good at it, but it's definitely fun to like get out there and like just hang out with your friends. It's like a lot of things along those lines, or really anything that's like competitive too. So like game night, stuff like that. Yeah.
You definitely have to be eating a lot of calories too at DN. What's the food of choice, or what do you really like?
Oh, I'm probably at Chipotle 3 times a week. I love Chipotle. Definitely the card they gave us is clutch. Saves me once a week, but still got to get there even more than that. But yeah, so that's probably like the most common thing that I eat.
Do you have any Christian like music artists or songs that you love?
Yeah. So I actually went to so Brandon Lake came here and he played on like a Sunday. Yeah. And so I went to that concert, and so he's probably like my favorite, but I really like Travis Green a lot too, because I think he's in like South Carolina now, so that's right in that area. And then like Elevation's in Charlotte, so I like Elevation a lot. Passion was another really good one. Maverick City obviously is great. So yeah, I've lots of very I have lots of different favorites in that.
It's good stuff. Well, as we kind of land the plane on this episode with like one more question here, I think, we oftentimes find that people are watching this and they're like either just curious about, what would maybe it look like for me to like, or like maybe I'm interested in getting to know this Jesus guy, or kind of taking a next step in my faith, or just like, man, I'm kind of just encouraged by your story, Beau. Like, I guess the question there would be like, what encouragement would you give somebody who might be thinking about, stepping into a relationship with Jesus?
Yeah, I guess I would say that there's like no perfect way to do it, and like it's not like something where like you just flip a switch and now you're already like some perfect guy who's like living a great, like I would just like to say that I've been like following Jesus for I guess, 3 years now, and I still make mistakes all the time, and I still fall short in lots of ways. But just trusting that Jesus has this plan for you, and just continuing to every single day, like knowing that He forgives you for that, but then still like trying to grow closer to Him. And the closer that you continue to grow to Him, the easier it will be to like live that God-centered life. And yeah, I think that's crucial.
Amen, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Beau, we appreciate you coming on Buckeye Revival. Thank you so much for sharing, and may the Lord bless you in your future, man.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate y'all having me.
If you were moved by this podcast, we would love to hear from you. Leave us a comment down below, message us on Instagram or Facebook, or even email us at info@thewalkfoundation.org. If you're in Ohio and looking for a church, Rock City would love to welcome you to one of their 9 or 11 a.m. services. And if you're interested, please click the link below in the description to learn more about Rock City Church. And thanks again to our sponsors, Emily Tapman with the Firm Foundation Company and Jeremy Fraze with Union Home Mortgage.